honest, I think it's a risky proposition as an employer. I think there are privacy issues, clearly. There are legal issues that have come up. And while I think that there is some value there, you have to be very particular as an employer. For my own purposes, I don't find Facebook, as an example, to be of particular value. Where you had a barbecue and how many friends you've got is not really going to give me a great deal of insight about you as a candidate. However, LinkedIn can be very valuable, and for a couple of reasons. For one, I can go in, I can look at your profile, and there is undoubtedly, if you're a savvy job seeker in particular, there's going to be information there within the summary that's going to be harder to craft in a resume, so I may be able to get some insight as to what your goals are, what your motivations are. Also within that, if you have a blog, if you have a personal website, by the very nature of you plugging it into LinkedIn, you've removed the privacy issue for me, and now I'm able to see, again, perhaps something different. What are you writing about? What are your particular passions, technically or otherwise? And as well, I can look at who you're connected to at your current company. I can look at who you're connected to at previous companies, and they might be a reference resource for me. Rather than just the references you provide, I might want to contact somebody out of the blue and find out what it was really like working with you. So when you're setting up a LinkedIn profile, these are all things you might want to consider. There are avenues within that profile to elaborate on what your goals are, what your particular experience is, and how that might apply to future employment. And you can do all of that through that profile. But as well, you need to be careful because it does open the door to learning perhaps more than you'd like to share. And when it comes to Facebook, Twitter, some of the more traditionally socially oriented media, it's common sense as much as anything. If you wouldn't tell your grandmother or you wouldn't go in and tell your current boss, then you probably don't want it out there. And you can check your privacy settings and you can limit the number of people who can get to that information. But even so, once it's out there, it's hard to get back. You're not going to be entirely sure who might be sharing it, even among your set of friends. So the bottom line is use some common sense. Everything you put out in cyber is out there for eternity, essentially. And you want to make sure that it paints an accurate, but also a good picture of who you are.